Hey friends, I feel bad every time I do this. I don't mean to make my sort of like ADHD serial project starting thing spill over so much. But I got what platform this is. I'm going to go ahead and use it, though I'll try to do it sparingly. So I do apologize if this is annoying. But I'm working on this memorial album for my friend Zach. I know that you've probably heard me bring him up a ton of times during the podcast. He's in large part the reason this podcast exists, and the reason I play pipes, and the reason why a lot of my closest friends play pipes and drums. So he's kind of a big deal for me. And some of those same piping, drums and piping and drumming friends, and I we're putting together a memorial album for Zach. As I've mentioned before in various episodes of the show, he passed away from suicide in 2019, shortly after his 30th birthday. And of course, we miss him a lot. So what we want to do is we are putting together a charity. Zach was a top level grade 1 competitive piper. I certainly could have played open, just, of course, it's hard to find competition even at the grade 1 level, and he was well on his way to being at that kind of level on snare drum as well. And yet he spent the vast majority of his time and effort helping lower grade bands and new players learn how to play and improve. And he often was very explicit about how very much on purpose that was. That he always wanted access to more sort of education when he was younger, but could never afford it. And he wanted to remove as many barriers as possible for people to learn how to pipe and drum, because it was something that had brought him so much joy. Anyway, so this charity the idea is to carry on sort of Zach's work, as it were, removing barriers for people to learn and improve their piping and drumming. So the idea is that through events and item sales and things like that, there would be money generated, and that money will be used to pay tuition costs to piping schools and drumming schools, and get people their sticks and pads and practice chanters if they can't otherwise afford them, that kind of thing. So if you'll forgive me for doing so at this point, I'm just going to play the promo that I'm sending over to Rab. He's being really great about this, and I really appreciate him. Feel free to show Big Rab some love for this. This is what I'm about to send to him. So it just describes the album a little bit, and it also has one of our tracks for the album that we have ready here. This is an original, brand new, never before heard Fred Morrison 6/8 that's been written for the album. So we're real excited about the album itself. It's going to have a bunch of Zach's friends and also a few piping celebrities that were Zach's piping heroes as well. So anyway, there are links to everything about it in the show notes as well. And thank you again. Hope you're having an excellent day. The upcoming episode is going to be really excellent. Everything is excellent, especially you, listener. Thank you again for listening to the show. I really do appreciate it. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Zach Lees was an amazing piper and drummer, but even more amazing was his willingness to give freely of his time and his abilities to teach others how to play pipes and drums. Zach died from suicide shortly after his 30th birthday in 2019, and in an effort to memorialize him, we're establishing a charity in his honor to continue providing those who couldn't otherwise afford it access to bagpiping and drumming education and instruments. To kick things off, a bunch of Zach's friends are putting together a memorial album to be released near his birthday and the anniversary of his death in January of 2023. The album will include originals from his fellow musicians written in his honor, covers played by his past students, and even some pieces from Zach's piping heroes like Timothy Cummings and Fred Morrison. In fact, in the background right now, you've been hearing an original, never-before-heard 6/8 March by Fred Morrison himself, written specifically for Zach's memorial album. Zach's mother gave this tune its name, Band of Angels. To support the project and to get a copy of the album when it releases, visit the Kickstarter that'll be running through the end of August. There's a link in the show notes. You can get an early download of Fred Morrison's original tune, and even a copy of the sheet music. And best of all, you'll be helping to provide piping and drumming instruction to those who couldn't otherwise afford it, carrying on Zach's efforts to remove barriers to piping and drumming for as many people as possible. Any questions, feel free to send an email to Jim at pipingjim@gmail.com. Thanks very much.